Good morning, everyone. Jackie with Massage Therafix. As promised, today's video will be covering vibration, or percussion as we call it. And you can see how percussion would be a great word to use because vibration. So I have a bunch of tools in my office. So if you want to do little emotions down bottom to let me know whether you'd like to have me use this, whether you'd love to have me use this, whether you're afraid it would hurt, whether you absolutely hate it and never want it used, that's something I can add to your client information. And I wanted to go through some tools, tell you how much I paid, and then ask you what you have at home. And we're going to keep this very professional. So one of the first tools I bought is called the Liberator, and it's not charged right now. This is very heavy. It only had one tip. Actually, this was my most expensive tool because it came with a year's worth of lessons. I will say it was worth the money for the lessons, but not so much for the tool. And this is a modified Milwaukee. Can't make this up. It is a modified Milwaukee, and it cost me significantly more than you probably paid for your Milwaukee. How did they modify it? It's a special tip on the end, and to that I can pop on a rubber-headed implement to do percussion. And this was very targeted, so if I really needed some targeted deep work, this would work, but it was also very loud. Anybody who knows a Milwaukee can tell you that. The next tool I bought was a Theragun. Some nice things about Theragun. It came with 2 batteries for charging. It was, I think I got it for $399. It has different tips. There's a big ball for broader work, a smaller ball for a little bit more defined work, a more pointed tip for when you really need to get into areas and get more targeted. And then here's the extra battery. Wasn't making that up. And then there's this tip, which is slightly just a bevel ball. I'm gonna try to turn this on. And, yeah, loud, very loud. The other problem was the switch had a couple problems for me. Only one speed. I can't control the speed. And if I had oil on my hands at all, I couldn't move that switch. It would just keep sliding. I couldn't move it. I couldn't grip it. The other nice thing about this though, and I'm trying, oh there it is. If you push the button on the side, you can change the angle. So, I mean, if you're in the gym, this is fine and great for in the gym. And that's where mine is staying now, is in the gym. Now, the reason that went into the gym is because I found this, and this is my Hypervolt, and I'm in love with my Hypervolt. See this end? This end is lovely for a lot of things. It was meant to work for Achilles tendon. Imagine going, you know, up and down around the ankle and up the calves to treat problems with Achilles tendon. It's a great shape for that. I love this for getting into pec, lat, subscap, a lot of different things. I actually love this tool. I can get close to the spine without hitting the spine, and I do that by putting my hand on the bone to protect the bone and going near it, and you can see how that would get right into the lamina groove really well. Besides this tip, it also came with different tips. See that bigger ball? It is pretty dense though. A flat tool that's good for percussion, and then a targeted point as well. See how all of these have some things in common? So what makes them unique is the length of battery, and this has a 6-hour battery. This whole piece right here is the battery. As it's telling me right now it's low, that also tells me it's low. When it's full, it goes all the way up. The lovely thing about this is it has 3 different speeds: low, medium, and high. And even at high, it's not very loud. So you can see why I prefer that one, and I think that one was 300. There is a Chinese knockoff version for 59.95 if anybody wants to reach out and get it right now. How lovely and cheap is that? Um, so what do they do? We've talked about rolling the orange. We've talked about working layers. And what percussion does is think of a meat cleaver. Not quite that drastic, but very lightly, and you're able to control, do I want it done more on the surface, or is it now softened and I can get in a little bit deeper with one of those other tools? And think of those tools being bigger to smaller. So think of an area being, sometimes I tell you it started out the size of a grape and now it's down to the grain of rice in your neck. Think of a knot anywhere in the body the same way. Depending on how many muscles are involved or how many layer of deeper to superficial muscles are involved, it can be bigger because it's affected the layers over time. So you can start with something bigger and more surface and then take it down to something more concentrated that's maybe now in the middle to something that's very specific and deep. So this is a great way for you to keep everything nice and loose, so when you come back to me, I can get the deep parts. And as I said, I still need to share some charts. I'll put them under here maybe, of how you can start to mark on your charts what you're finding at home, so I can add that to your client file as well. It's like a map. I need you to go here during my next session. So how can we do this at home? I mean, I wouldn't suggest the meat cleaver. You're going to be marked. You're going to be bruised. Some things, I mean, a ball peen hammer, if you did it lightly, could do some percussion. For those of you who have drumsticks, or all my drummers, y'all already do this. You know, go get your drums. You could do percussion on your knee. You can do it with your hands. I suck at percussion. So in school, how I learned to do percussion, because we had to do the whole body, and I never do it now because I was awful at it, was my husband, who's a drummer, taught me 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I could speed it up and keep that tempo. And I have to say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in my head, or I can't do it. I just get all off. So you could do it just, you know, tapping, creating a percussion. The reason these tools work better is vibration, when done for a long period of time, can deaden sensation going to a nerve. I guess it can start to numb a nerve. And that's where something we have at home comes into play. So I had bought this years ago. Actually, I had bought it for the business because it's not a cheap tool. And then because of where I bought it from, I've been hesitant to use it. But in a second, you're going to see why I bought it. It's very easy to clean with soap and water. And it vibrates. And the box it comes in is hyperallergen. It like helps control bacteria and stuff. And the bag that it can be stored in controls those things as well. But everything's killed with soap and water. So this has a temperature button on it that I can add heat. And it has up and down to affect, can you hear it? Vibration, again, it's very quiet. Change how it vibrates. But what I loved about this, it was made for this people, and then I just got too afraid to bring it in here and use it because it wasn't designed for massage. But the same company is where I buy my hot hearts. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is actually very lovely. We might have to bring this into the business. Please like or love this so we can bring this down and put it in the toolbox. And what it's doing, I think of the stress in our neck. It's just vibrating it gently. We're 70% water. Think of, you know, that water being kind of vibrated through the tissue and hydrating the tissue, bringing lymphatic to the area for healing. Right now, that's even, I can feel it doing a little bit of myofascial release and lymphatic drainage at the same time. I can feel that just using this tool. And I'm not pressing hard because I don't have to. This is another great one, depending on how I turn it, for how it's going to hit things in the back and how targeted I can be. See, again, great for shoulders. So how I'm going to word this to you is look around your house and see what you maybe have in your house that you can use for vibration. Um, Good Lord, now I don't remember how to turn this one off. But look around your house and see what you have that you could use for vibration or percussion to help bring blood and lymphatic to that tissue, get it hydrated, get it mobile, maybe desensitize some of those nerves that are really affecting you right now, causing you pain. The other thing I want to discuss today is the fact that they are recommending that no one takes ibuprofen to treat the coronavirus. Well, ibuprofen, for those who take a lot of it, they know it's for anti-inflammatory, which inflammation leads to pain. So, how can you naturally treat some of your pain at home? I love all of you, and I'm in the same boat with you. Look at me. Gained back 30 of the pounds that I had lost last year, because diet is our number one thing that we need to focus on. What's causing inflammation? Alcohol, sugar, processed foods. There's a whole lot of other things on that list. You can go online, I can't make it up, go Google foods that cause inflammation, foods that reduce inflammation. There are plenty of scientific sources to back me up, and I don't have to teach you all of that. We really need to start looking at our diet and what we're eating that's causing inflammation. I keep joking that I'm bulking so that when I have to fast, when it's necessary, I have the body fat to sacrifice for that, but it's no longer a joke. It's going to start causing pain. I say this with all the love in my heart because I was there last year, or actually a year and a half ago. My knees were killing me, and I lost 20 pounds and my knees stopped hurting. Your knees were not meant to hold extra weight. It's painful for them. It's painful for all of our joints. Knees are one of the ones that will tell you that it's a problem. So with all the love in my heart, if your knees are hurting, consider and look and do an internal journey and say, if I lost 20 pounds, how would that affect my knees? Why not try it? Why not try to lose 20 pounds and see if knee pain goes away? How awful. How awful to get a 2-for-1 out of something. And in case nobody's told you today, I love you. I love all of you. I miss all of you more than you can ever know. I am doing virtual healing online. I'm starting to get reviews for that. We're starting to get some amazing things from that, actually. And I want all of you to have a blessed day. And I want everybody to stay safe. And I'll talk to you later.